paying on a bi-weekly basis. You can request payments earlier, but on a 2-week basis is when they're releasing your payments to you. And then you're also going to have something called account level reserves, where they're holding an X amount of your funds to account for any extra spend. So like advertising, FBA fees, coupons, but that's still considered your money. What is the best product to sell? Was attractive to customers? There's a lot of good products to sell. There's quite literally millions of products to sell on Amazon, different variations of products, all these things. Nobody's going to tell you, hey, here's the best product to sell, because that doesn't make any sense. But understanding what a good product is and understanding how to find a good product, that is how you win. I promise you, nobody on the internet is going to just be like, oh, bro, this is the bit, like the videos that you see, this is a great product to sell on Amazon. I make video responses to those videos. They're never good products to sell for multiple different reasons. Bad product market. The fact that the product went viral is a terrible thing, in my opinion, viral in that way. All right, so let's do product research. According to your experience, what's a winning strategy? I have videos on my product criteria. I'll go over it here, but it's a lot. So it's like you can either go rewatch the YT recording of this live, or you can go watch my videos on my criteria. Product that has the potential to do 10K a month, total revenue in the market at least 200K, average reviews under around 500. Must be able to stand out and differentiate. Advertising cost per click no more than $1.50. Must be able to achieve at least 30% profit margins after FBA fees, cost of goods, shipping. Must have strong search volume, 10,000 search volume amongst all keywords. Like I said, it's a lot, but I do have videos on it. I just launched my product and I enrolled in Vine. I'm just waiting for my reviews, but I'm worried about doing PPC. How much do I need to spend? Start conservatively. Go watch, you're on the YT live right now. Go watch my YT videos on my PPC strategies. I go over how I structure my ads. I go over how to set up ads, how to audit your ads, how to optimize them. So I would go watch all that content because it's going to help you out a lot along your journey. Let's go. So let's do some live product research. It's more fun when we have interaction. Something tells me that there's can you talk about your PPC strategy for baby products? I have a private label baby carrier. Wayne, I think it was you. I'll post it later today, bro. I think you left a comment on one of my videos. I actually made a video response to it. I just haven't posted it yet. It's in my drafts. Again, the strategy that I use for ads is going to be the same for essentially every product, right? Yes, it does work on new ASINs. My friend that's on the YT chat. But yeah, it's the same thing. If I'm launching a product, I'm essentially having the same strategy every time. Now, once you launch and start to collect data, that's when the strategy starts to change and you have to be able to pivot and stuff. But how do you do PPC for a baby product is the same way that I would do PPC for a home and kitchen product. Get your top 3 to 5 keywords, test those keywords in broad, phrase, exact match, have an auto campaign, conservative bids, conservative budgets, test your conversion rate, collect the data, see what does work, what doesn't do. And then you can start to make decisions based on that data. Okay, my conversion's low. Well, I don't really have that many reviews. Let me push for more reviews. Or I have a lot of reviews, but my conversion's still low. Maybe I need to optimize my product listing. So that's when the strategy starts to change. But at the start, it's the same for everything. So I think you were, Wayne, if you're the same person, I think you were asking about keyword research. How do I find keywords for my baby product? I will post that video when I get off live. So I posted, this is another thing, y'all. I do these lives, I answer the questions. Leave comments on the videos that you want me to make a video response to. Make sure that you're following the videos. I promise you, I have made a video about every single topic that when it comes to Amazon. Barcodes, PPC ads, product research, product development, differentiation, like literally everything. So if you guys are following the content, following the page, you will see all of the videos. What you sell, all types of products. For obvious reasons, I don't share the exact products that I sell on Amazon. I tell people, give me 3 net benefits to me for me sharing my products publicly, and I will share my products. Nobody's been able to. And saying we will support your business does not count, because we do social media for our brands and we have people online support it. What are some products I should start? Products based on a good product criteria. You guys, I know a lot of you are beginners who come into the live. It's your first time coming in the live. It's the most common question I get. Nobody's going to give you a product to sell. Nobody. If somebody is online saying this is the product that you should sell on Amazon, they're telling you and however many other people, it's not a good product. I promise you it's not a good product. In fact, anytime you see anyone ever sees a video where somebody says, this is a good product to sell on Amazon, tag me or send it to me. I will debunk it. I will debunk it with data, objective data, not, oh no, it's just not a good product to sell. What if main keyword isn't getting any impressions? Should I increase the bid? If you're getting no impressions, then yes, you need to increase your bids. Would you start with an LLC or not? If capital wasn't an issue, yes. You can start as a sole proprietor. I started as a sole proprietor back in 2019. I didn't have the capital for an LLC. I literally invested every single penny into launching the product with my cost of goods and stuff like that. So if capital is not an issue, LLC is always the best route. What are good marketplaces to look for products on Amazon itself? We can do some live product research right now. I have it set up, so we'll get that going. Wayne, thank you for the follow. With how much money started all even backup money? I'd say 3 to 6K to get started is the amount that you would need. I don't think that you need 10, 15K, but I don't think that you need 10, 15K. So yeah. Hello. What would you do if you had a flop product and you need to get rid of it? Lower price. There's multiple ways to go about it. Depends how much inventory, but either A, I would just try to dial in my PPC, literally cut everything that's not working. I'm not focusing on rank, but I'm just trying to, this is where ACOS would matter more than tacos. I would just be focused on getting piecemeal sales and trying to sell out as quickly as possible so I don't incur long-term storage fees. The other option is you can do that plus lower the price. But the problem is you have to consider if you lower your price to break even and then you're running ads, you're going to be at a loss regardless. So you can lower it a little bit, or if you can get some organic sales, you just lower it to break even. And then hopefully you can get enough organic sales without Amazon ads to sell out of your inventory. I'm curious though, why do you think that it was a flop? How many clicks on your keyword should you have before you either drop it or increase the bid on it? Great question. A general rule of thumb is like 15 to 20 clicks. But this is where it can be product to product basis. Because if I have a $100 product with a 70-cent cost per click, 20 clicks is nothing. So then I would probably get it closer to the cost or the price of the product. If I couldn't convert after the price of the product, I would probably cut the keyword. In terms of increasing the bid, I'm not, just because a keyword's working doesn't mean I'm increasing the bid. If it's something's profitable, something's working. Also TikTok, if you're like, why are you looking up? I'm live on YT. So if I have a YT question, I'll look at the YT camera. But the only reason that I would be increasing my bid is if I was trying to optimize my placement or if I was trying to create a rank campaign. So just because a keyword's working isn't an indicator that, oh, I should go increase my bid on it. At what interval should PPC be optimized? I look at it on 3 time frames: weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly. You shouldn't be making multiple optimizations every single week. You should let data play out. Now, I like looking at it on like a 7-day average, but this is where it would be different. If within 4 days, let's say the price of my product is $35, and in 4 days I've spent $90-something on a keyword with no sales, I'm probably pausing that. Like, I don't need to wait 3 more days. I'm already not converting well on it. I have the data to support it. So it's based on time and it's based on data. But with 6,000, can you maintain your ranking and compete and keep your place? Yes. You would just have slower growth. If you're not injecting more capital into the business, you would have slower growth, which when you really break it down, like if you're not losing money, that means that you're making profit, but well, obviously if you're not losing money, you're making profit. Anyways, if you're not losing money, then what does it matter if you have a slow growth? Like you're growing the business. I have tried every PPC, bid multiple keyword tests, and backend every optimization. Let me ask you this, three questions. Number one, how many reviews do you have? Number two, how many times did you change your main image, just your main image? And number three, did you test multiple different keywords? These are important questions because, well, let's answer and then I'll tell you why. But it does make sense that if a keyword is working, you should increase the bid. It's common sense. Why is Amazon algorithm ruining that? It's not common sense, bro. That's your own interpretation of it. But how is that? In what world is that common sense? It's kind of like, it's like this. You're winning an auction. This isn't exactly how Amazon ads work, but I'm going to just use the analogy. Based on what you just said, if I'm winning an auction, so, you throw your little thing up. Do I hear $10? Do I hear $20? So I'm winning the bid at $20. They're like, do I hear 30? Do I hear 30? Do I hear 30? And I'm the winning bid at 20. And I'm like, $30. $30. I have the winning bid, but I'm going to increase my bid for absolutely no reason. So it's not necessarily common sense. Like I said, that's your own interpretation of how it should work. But no, that's not how it should work. Your bid, I guess I use the auction example, but it's not literally an auction. It's not like if I pay $250 and then I increase my bid to $260, then nobody else, like I'm beating everybody else that's bidding under $260. No, how much you bid on Amazon ads dictates your placement. So generally, a lower bid, the lowest bids are product pages. A mid-tier bid would be rest of search. And then usually the highest bids are top of search placements. So going back to it, if I'm converting well and most of my sales are coming from rest of search, why would I increase my bid unless I'm trying to create a rank campaign and get my products to top of search? Top of search and rest of search work very differently. So you don't just, and this isn't even like a bad misconception. I'm not trying to come at you, bro. But think of this interpretation of ads and think of the thousands of other interpretations that people have that probably cause them to lose money. Oh, I'm doing good. Let me increase my bids. Oh, I'm not converting well. Let me double down on PPC ads. And this is why I say who and how you learn Amazon ads from is the difference between you spending 1,000 and making 300 or spending 300 and making 1,000. I changed my image 3 times. I tested every possible keyword imaginable, but I only have like 25 reviews. This is one of those like nuanced things where I would have to see inside of your campaign manager. I would have to see the product. I would have to see the listing. Because at that point, I would just be giving you generic advice. And the position that you're in right now does not call for generic advice. Like to determine, I don't do that. That's not something that I do, Peace. Mainly because I do think that it's a little disrespectful to my students who paid for access to me for the whole package. And then if I'm just like, oh no, you can pay me X amount. And also how much I would charge to get on a call would be probably over $1,000. At that point, you might as well just invest in the AMZ Masterclass. But that being said, like I remember, and it doesn't always work out like this. I just got on a call with a student. Actually, this is a fun story. I'll tell two scenarios. I just got on a call with a student literally yesterday. And if this student is in this live, I'm very sorry because I just have to keep it 100. I have your class, but I think it's not the full class. Do you have just the PPC Masterclass? If you do just have the PPC Masterclass, you could always just upgrade to the full Masterclass, because then the difference that you would pay would end up being close to what I would charge for a one-on-one call anyways. So anyways, back to it, and you would get a one-on-one call included in the program. Anyways, get on a call with a student yesterday, and he launched a product. He wants me to audit it and all these things, and I look at it, and it was one of those things where like it hurts. I was like, listen, I straight up told him, I was like, do you want me to be brutally honest, or do you want me to sugarcoat it? Launched a product with an average price of $10. Average reviews were over 1,000. Cost per clicks were like $1.20 on a $10 product. Like essentially like didn't listen to anything. This is where I tell people, when people are like, what's the success rate or this or that? It's like, well, I can tell you based on the data that we have in the survey data, but like I can give somebody the keys to the castle. It doesn't mean that they're going to listen. So there are some scenarios where I do get on a call with somebody and I'm like, oh no, this is cooked. But then there are times where I get on a call with somebody and they think that it's cooked. They're like, I've done everything. I don't know what to do. This happened with one of my students. He was doing decent in sales, nearing 10K, but he was just over leveraged on ads. His conversion wasn't necessarily good. Few tips. I was like, as soon as I saw the listing and the ads, I was like, oh my gosh, like all of this fat that you have on your ads, if you just cut this, you'll literally be profitable. Number two, your listing, like there's so many different holes in your listing that your top competitors are doing that you're not. They made the changes and then boom, we're able to turn it around. So it can go both ways. I can't be like, oh, I can for sure help. It depends. I don't know the product. I don't know how you set up your ads. I don't know the changes that you made. There are scenarios where somebody truly did every change that they possibly could. I look at it, I'm like, if this was my product, you did everything that I would have done. I enrolled 30 into Vine. So far, 9 reviews, 4.8 stars. That's awesome. Yo, what do you do? I sell products on Amazon. Yo, what's up with, I feel like ever since TikTok got sold, we've had like a bigger amount of people begging for money in the lives, which is very strange, but power to them, I guess, whatever. I'm not here to judge. Well, I judge a little bit, but who cares about mine? Anyways, keep dropping your questions down below. I said we were going to do live product research, so I'm still down to do that. If everybody, or at least a majority of people in the live, want to do some live product research, I think it's always fun. So drop a comment if you do. Otherwise, we could just keep rocking and rolling with questions. Actually, I said I would do product research. Let's do it. Please respond to my question. I did respond to your question, bro. You responded to my response to your question. You said, good example. Should I run ads now, or do you think I should wait for reviews? At 9, I would at that point test it. I think you're at a good range. Yes, let's do it. All right. My question about the main image. I don't see that question, bro. Can you re-ask it? Because I literally don't see it in the chat. Hey, Luke, did you not do his product selection regarding the last guy? No, absolutely not, bro. I would not give somebody a product with an average price of $10 and average reviews over 1,000 and all of that stuff. No, he just joined the mentorship without product selection. Actually, obviously, I know I didn't select that product for him. Let me see. I think, you know what? Actually, I take that back. No, I did not select that product for him. I did do product selection for that student, but it was obviously a completely different product, which now I remember he was telling me on the call that he was in the process of launching. But yeah, I would never pick a product like that. It's, I had a student, I made a video about this. This was probably the most hurtful thing that I've heard as a mentor on Amazon. I'm gonna get to your question in the YT chat in one sec, bro. But yeah, most hurtful thing was had this girl join again. If on the off chance she hears this, I'm sorry, but I just keep it 100. She joins the program, and my onboarding coach Adam was like, yeah, she actually already launched a product on Amazon. She just wanted expertise on how to get things going. So immediately after joining, I think she went through a few lessons, and we got on a one-on-one call. She shows me her product. She explains to me the situation. She's like, yeah, I was in this other mentorship and they told me that this was a good product, you know? And so I ordered. I was like, how much inventory did you order? She's like, well, it's 3 variations and I ordered 15,000 units of each variation. My heart sank. My heart literally sank. To give you, it's a topical product. So if you know anything about like topicals, AKA like, it's not this product, I'm not going to say it obviously, but like skin cream, shampoos, things like that, they're not cheap to manufacture. So 15,000 units of each SKU in the topical category. I was like, oh man. Well, actually, first off, she showed me the product. I looked at the market, thousands of average reviews, huge brand names in it. Average price was like $11. Cost per click in the market was like $3+ for the main keyword, cooked market. And then that's when I was like, how much inventory did you order? She told me, so 45,000 units, 45,000 units. And I gave her what I thought was very good advice. No, bro, I think it was a loan. I think got the purchase order on a loan. And this, like, imagine getting that advice, bro. It hurt my heart. Like, I don't say this as like a fun story or like, oh, I'm just sharing people's mistakes. Like, genuinely, I say this like not, I don't happily say this. Now I gave what I thought was good advice. Like, if I was in that position, this is what I will. If for some reason I was in that position, this is what I would do. I think that the advice that I had the potential to work, but like you have to really 10x it. But yeah, that was a rough one. That was probably the worst story that I've heard on Amazon. And I've heard people, I was at an Amazon conference and I heard of these guys who got scammed from a done for you program on Amazon. And for each product for the done for you, they charge like 30 grand. And I don't think that even includes inventory. They got 3 products all in 120,000. And still the story of that lady hurt my heart more than any story that I've heard. So that was rough. Not all information on the internet is created equal. Somebody tells you, yeah, that's a good market and you should order as much inventory as you can so you can get the lowest cost of goods. No, you shouldn't even spend $20,000 on an Amazon launch, let alone, I mean, let's put it this way. If her inventory was only $2 a unit landed, which it was not, I actually didn't even want to ask. I just did my own baseline calculations in my head. I felt bad asking. But if the inventory was only $2 a unit, that's $90,000 worth of inventory. I'll tell you guys the advice that I gave. Hey, Luke. All right, answered that. By the way, Luke will receive my sample tomorrow. I will book a call to check the market soon. Nice. Gene, and congratulations. It's getting your samples is very exciting stuff. Gene, thank you for the follow. That's effing crazy, dude. My launch, I ordered 80. Yeah, I mean, I start with 100 to 300 units. 45,000 units is nuts. There's this guy on YouTube who's a pretty big creator. He has a lot of subscribers. When you search certain things about Amazon, his videos are some of the first to pop up. I heard him talking about how much inventory should you order, and he was telling people to order 10% of what the top seller in the market is ordering, or in some cases to order 1,000 units on your first order. I think it's terrible advice. I really do. I mean, you can make an argument for whether Amazon was easier back then when I started versus now. I can make an argument for both. But like even back then, when like you could throw shit at the wall and it would stick a little easier than it would in 2026, I still wouldn't have told somebody to order 1,000 units on their first order. All right, back to questions. How many times should you change your main image, and should you only change your main image or all your images? You want to isolate the things that you A/B test. So like if I'm trying to increase my conversion and I change my main image, my A+ content, my title, my bullet points, my description, my infographics, all at the same time, I don't know what thing made the improvement or the decline or not. So I try to isolate like one or two variables at a time. How many times will I change my main image? I don't have a limit, to be honest. Like I've changed the main image 6 times on a product before. I will just keep testing it. So that's the answer. But that girl should have been smarter. Common sense is you don't order 15,000 either way. Yeah, that's where like there's two sides where it's like, there's terrible advice being given, but then also like you have to take accountability for everything. Like, okay, I go tell you, okay, the best strategy for Amazon, and I'm not really saying this, this is hype. This isn't even hypothetical. This is just a joke or whatever you want to call it. If I tell you the best strategy is to go order 100,000 units for your first order on Amazon, terrible advice on my end. But then if you listen to it, whose fault is that? That's your fault for listening to terrible advice. I realized I should have ordered more inventory though because it takes so long to get them. Yes, 100 is the minimum. Hey Luke, is it only one call with you if I'm in the AMZ Masterclass? Yes, sir. But you're able to message me whenever, bro. That sounds like good advice, but the top seller is generally doing crazy numbers. Exactly. Like on paper, it might sound like good advice, but if the top seller is doing 10,000 units, for example, am I going to order, and they're saying 10%, am I going to order 1,000 units? No. After a main image change, do you wait 7 days or so? About, but this is, I don't know if you were in the live when I was saying this earlier. It's based on time and data. So generally I'll wait 7 days for something to play out, whether it's my ad campaigns or an A/B test. But let's say that I change it, and then 4 days later, across all my different keywords, I have 20 clicks, 20 clicks, 20 clicks, but the conversion is not better. Like I have data already on whether it's working or not. I don't necessarily need to go get another 20 clicks per keyword to know whether the change that I made was good or not. Should I order a small number via air and order more via sea? I never like air shipping, to be honest. I mean, work it out with your numbers. There are scenarios where a small air shipment and then the rest via sea is what people do. It has to make sense with your numbers and your timeline. And if those two check out, then there's not a reason necessarily to not do it. I just don't prefer air shipping. You're going to pay like 10x what you pay for sea shipping. So let's talk about the advice. Let's talk about the advice that I gave who ordered 45,000 units. It's like literally like you can only give so much advice. It's like if I'm in the middle of the ocean, Point Nemo, with just a paddle and I'm swimming, I don't have a boat, just a paddle. It's like, what advice are you going to give me? Are you going to say just to wait, or are you going to tell me like you better start swimming? Are the chances of you making it to shore really low? Yes, but what other advice are you going to give? It's the best advice that you can give to somebody. Have you gotten any updates from her? No. Keeping it 100. I did not. But when this happened, this is when TikTok Shop was peak, and it was a lot easier to break into than it is today. Not that it's impossible. The strategy that I gave is like on Amazon, you're going to be playing an uphill battle. You're going to have to probably have an even bigger budget for PPC because of the type of category, the nature of the category that you're in. You have to play the game that I played on my first product alongside with PPC. Social media, like you got to be a content machine. I straight up said, it's like be obsessed or be average, or in this case, be obsessed or sink. If you don't want to sink, I would be making 10 videos a day of my product. I would be reaching out to 100 creators a day. I would be grinding. And I think that if just a little bit of traction, you can get something going. I mean, I don't operate it anymore because clothing is literally the worst category ever, but I created a 6-figure clothing brand without spending a single dollar on ads. Not a single dollar. I would sell out of my drops. Why? Because social media. Social media is king. Content is king. Do the time you make changes always vary? Yes, for sure. It's a bit like it varies because if I'm cranking on conversion on a new launch, I don't feel the need to make optimizations right away. Now, over time, you always want to optimize, even if you're the number one bestseller. Actually, I'm going to give you a scenario. Put you in the shoes of somebody who came in my live. If you were the number one bestseller, you've been selling on Amazon for 10 years, and you have a number one bestseller badge for a product, your top category, top conversion, like everything, you are the top. Let's get everybody's opinion in the chat. You're the bestseller. You have 190,000 reviews. You've been selling on Amazon for 10 years. You lead the category in conversion and in sales. Let's guess in the chat. Should you still be making optimizations to your listing? Let's see how much you all have learned from my lives. Bestseller, number one in sales, number one in conversion, number one in everything. Do you still make optimizations? There we go. Glad you guys learned things from my lives. Well, not Hydra. Hydra does not learn things. Just kidding, Hydra. Yes, you do make optimizations still. You do. If the category top conversion rate, no, incorrect, Puppyo. You do fix it. Or not fix it. Fix is not the right word. You do optimize it. If I'm the category top conversion, my product converts at 36%. If I can optimize my conversion rate by 1%, not 1% from 36 to 37, I mean 1% of 36%. You get it? If I can just increase my conversion by an incremental margin every single time, then at some point I go from 36% or 37% to 40%. And either A, the gap gets further from me and the category average, or let's say you're the category average. So the category average converts at 25%, you convert at 27%, category top converts at 37%. You're like, listen, I'm not the top, but I'm converting better than everybody else. Does that mean that you don't optimize? No, because small incremental changes will always help. If I'm doing $100,000 a month in sales for a product, and I increase my conversion rate by 1%, that is literally thousands of dollars more in sales. You always increase it. So why did I give the example of 190,000 reviews, bestseller, number one, all of this? I had a dude come into my live. This was months ago. He sold on Amazon. He's been selling on Amazon longer than I have. He pulled up, he showed me his listing. He's like, yeah, man, I check it out. He sells a pet hair remover. If you go on Amazon and search, actually, I'll do it right now. Pet hair remover. So let me show you. Hold on, YT. Let me share the screen with you guys too so you can see it. I don't want you to miss out either. So let me show you. All right. So this homie comes into my live. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Was it this homie? Dang. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, no, this homie. Sorry. This homie comes into my live. He's been selling this product for 10 years. By the way, like I said, he came into the live like 6 months ago, maybe. He had 190,000 reviews. I remember. 202,000 reviews. That's nuts. Anyways, he's been selling this product for 10 years. Bestseller badge, 10K plus bought in the last month, crushing it. That's on one variation. And I told him, I was like, hey man, give the people some advice on how you got to this point. And he said, you always optimize. He's like, I'm constantly optimizing my listing to keep up with market trends. I'm constantly optimizing my listing to keep up with new changes or just different things. The times are different. An ad that worked in 2010 or 2016 isn't necessarily going to work in 2026. So he's constantly optimizing. He's looking at competitors who come into the market who are performing good. What are they doing right? Am I missing out on something there? He's constantly optimizing, and that is why he is quite literally a millionaire from selling a pet hair remover on Amazon. So yes, that you should optimize always. You were correct. How long do you have to wait before you get Ryan reviews? It's based on how long it takes for people to claim it. There's not a set. Now, if people don't claim it, or sorry, if somebody claims it but don't leave a review within 90 days, you can get reimbursed for that. Keep that in mind. But you might make an adjustment that isn't optimizing. That's why you track the data. If I make a change and let's say data gets worse, conversion gets worse, then I'm going back to the original. Or let's say that I make a change and nothing happens. Well, then I have the data that change wasn't a good optimization. So you're not just throwing things up and guessing and hoping that it works. How would you increase conversion without changing your price? Bro, price is the last thing that I ever look at. Price, it's so funny to me. And again, this not towards you, Papio. You seem like you're asking solid questions. This is me speaking generally. It makes it, I think it's the funniest thing ever when people think that price is a big deal on Amazon. I just posted a video. The newest product that I launched, average price in the market is like $34. We sell our product for $49.99. We are $16 more expensive than the average price. We are crushing it on Amazon right now with only 20 reviews. Price doesn't matter. Value matters way more. So how would I optimize without changing price? Assuming you have a good product with a good differentiation, you're good there. It's listing and reviews. I don't change my price. I don't think that's yeah, I just don't think that that's a move. I'm selling my ball and I want to become a millionaire from it. God willing. I don't audit people's listings, bro. The only reason I looked at that homie's listing was because he wasn't asking me to audit it. He was just saying like, yeah, I make 7 figures on Amazon. I was like, let me see the product. I don't audit people's listings unless they're in my program. It's out of respect for my students who pay for access to me. And then it's like, oh, well, I paid for access to you so that I can, you can help optimize my stuff. And then you just go do it. You know what I'm saying? So can optimizing have a negative effect sometimes? Yes, no doubt about it. Just like if you can make an optimization and your conversion can increase, you can make an optimization and your conversion can decrease. I'm thinking about adding 2 to 3 small products on the side that complement my product. Nice. I don't think that there's a limit as long as it works with your margins. If I let you see my product, could you give me your opinion on it? You can show it in your live, but I can be an example on your expertise. I don't audit people's listings on lives, man. It's one of those things where if I do it for one person, I got to do it for everybody. Minimum entry to have access to me as well as the whole program would be $3,000. Minimum entry to not have access to me is less than that, but minimum access, the mentorship, access to me, one-on-one call with me, shipping service I created, listing service, weekly group coaching calls, one-on-one call with me, most in-depth ad guide that you will find on the internet. You won't find something more in-depth on YouTube, on TikTok, on LinkedIn, on nothing. All of that. AMZ Masterclass. How answer that? Which softwares do you use to optimize data dive? Would you say an aged Amazon account like 200 plus reviews launched their own product, would it sell better than a new account launching one? Define, it depends on how you define sell. I know that was a weird way to say that because obviously sell is to sell. But like just to sell it, like you make a couple $100, maybe somebody would buy that. You'd have to assume that they'd want the product that has 200 reviews, if it's a good market or not. If it's not a good market, it's absolutely useless to have 200 reviews. To sell a seasoned Amazon account, no, that's not really something I think someone would buy unless they maybe, I don't know, that's not something that I would buy. So no, if you just have an aged Amazon account that you didn't make successful, but you just want to sell it because it's not a new account, would that sell for more than a new account? No, nobody's going to buy that, because why would I buy a new account that has no value to me when I can for free, for $39.99 a month, create my very own Amazon seller account. And in fact, my account would probably be better than your account because something tells me that my IPI or my account health would be higher on a brand new account than it is on an account that maybe there was mistakes, delayed inventory, shipment, whatever. So unless you had 1,000 account health, it probably is not worth it to me or anybody. Will I be able to get an LLC being in Canada? Yes. How much did you start with, and at which amount did you let the business run by itself? I started with 4,900. When I was at the six-figure mark, I was able to work for myself. Is adding variations to a product always optimal or situational? Situational, but I would say it's always situational, but more often than not, it's a benefit than not. No, I meant private label like a new account. Wait, no, I meant private label like a new account launching their own brand on Amazon compared to an aged. I think that's still the same question. An aged account versus a new account. Just because you have an aged account doesn't add value. Like, it doesn't make your account worth selling. What makes an account worth selling is sales and profit. Why am I going to spend my money on something? Because it makes money or has the potential to make money. Hey, my cousin just bought a new house. Let's go. Well, rented, I guess. Not bought. This is fire. How much percentage is usually profit on that account? Over 40%. Across accounts, 36%. Average across sellers for private label, 25 to 35%. What do you think about high ticket items on Amazon? I like it. It depends. The market looks good. If the new seller account has a better overall listing than an aged account with 200 reviews, then it won't be better. I still don't understand. If the new Amazon account has a better overall listing than an aged account with 200 reviews, is that what he's asking? Like, if an aged account will perform better than a new account that has more reviews? No, that doesn't mean anything, if that's what you're asking. So thanks for answering that, if that is it, Georgios. So are you only American Amazon, or do you on other markets? Other markets as well, but the bread and butter is US. These sales, US market. Anybody who wants to sell on Amazon, regardless of what country you live in, I would say US. I have a genuine question. After launching these people from Amazon sends me mail about helping me out with sales optimizing, do you recommend to use that offer? No, I don't. They're useless. In fact, I say this on the record. Hopefully this doesn't get me kicked out of the program. I'm an Amazon ads partner. Any person from Amazon, whether it's the Amazon ads team, let me rephrase that. The Amazon ads specialists that they try to assign to your account, an account specialist who will give you recommendations, useless. Useless, 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 useless. The only way that they could be useful is if you had an account manager who could help you with cases. That, useful. But them showing you how to walk through and spend money on ads and run your ads, I promise you, useless. In fact, don't take my word for it. Go watch one of my trainings, my free trainings on Amazon ads, and then hop on a call with the Amazon ads team, and then tell me whether you think that it's useless or not. Excuse me, not Amazon ads team, Amazon ads specialists. The Amazon ads team is cool, but you won't get to contact them because they're not seller support. Do you only do FBA? I heard it's maximum 20% net profits with FBA. Well, you heard wrong. I run a 40% profit margin on this account, 36% profit margin across all accounts. I just started a brand new account. I've only had 2 orders on a brand new product, and I'm quite literally at 20% profit margins after ads and returns already. So no. That is the maximum net profit being 20. In fact, if you look up on Google, what is the average profit margin for private label, it will tell you 25%. So whoever told you the maximum is 20, when the average is 25, and actually, regardless, even if it was maximum 20, that is very good. Go look up average profit margins across industries. You'll see that most industries run at less than a 20% profit margin. Now, I guess it's different because it's CPG, consumer brand goods, but you would want a higher margin. Is digital product good? I don't sell digital products on Amazon. I have some jewelry that cost around $1,000. How many should I send to start? Ooh, jewelry is a rough one. Oh, jewelry high ticket items. I don't lie. I don't love. I, I don't know. I would want to look at the market before I sent in inventory. Do you teach private label? Yeah, I do private label. No arbitrage or wholesale. So private label is better than brand products. The word better is subjective in this scenario. Better to me, yes. Better to somebody who does arbitrage and wholesale, no. It boils down to what your goal is. My favorite story of how this was broken down was Mark Rober. If you guys have ever heard of him, he's a really famous YouTuber. But he was talking about in an interview where he was doing brand deals, and let's say he did a brand deal for T-Mobile, and this isn't literally how brand deals work. He's just he's painting a picture. He's like, if I sell $100 worth of T-Mobile products, then I get $100. That's not how sponsorships work. But he's like, I'll make $100, but all I did was make T-Mobile richer, built their brand equity. But he's like, then he created his company called Crunch Labs. He's like, but if I do a little sponsorship for Crunch Labs and I sell $100 worth of Crunch Labs products, not only did I make $100, but I also built up equity for something that I own. Can you go sell? Let's put it this way. If I wanted to sell my company, there's two business models. One is my company, my products that I sell. Okay, I could sell that. And the other one is I sell somebody else's products, or I advertise somebody else's products. You can't sell that. That's unsellable. But your own products, your own brand, that is sellable. That is something that you own equity in. If I go do wholesale and I'm doing $100K a month at a 10% profit margin, cool, I'm making $10,000 in profit. Nobody's hating on that. But if you're renting a warehouse, you own a pallet jack, you have $50,000 worth of inventory. Cool, you have all that stuff. Nobody's going to buy it. Nobody's going to buy that business. I can go set up my own relationships with wholesale suppliers. I can go get my own warehouse, and I don't have to pay you for something that is easily established. But if I go create a supplement brand, sure, you can go try to create your own supplement brand. Like, let's say Goalie. Obviously, it's a behemoth of a brand. Goalie could sell for hundreds of millions of dollars. But if you came in and you were like, I'm going to go copy what Goalie's doing, good luck. You could probably maybe find some success, potentially maybe, but like you can't replicate what they have. It's unique because it's Goalie. You're not going to be Goalie if you start a business. When launching a new product, what are the first campaigns you should use? One broad, one phrase, one exact, one auto. Oh, okay. If you got some proof of concept, then yeah. I mean, however many units you're comfortable selling, man. Agreed. I'm thinking of doing OA, a bit of wholesale, scale to 10K month, and launch my own brand. Nice. How much is your mentorship program? It ranges 3 to 5K. It is going up the price this year. Just the ad cost, bro, it kills the profits. Tell me that you don't know how to run Amazon ads without telling me that you don't know how to run Amazon ads. I've heard it all, brother. You can't be profitable on Amazon because the tariffs. Tariffs don't affect my business. You can't be profitable on Amazon because of FBA fees. I'm very profitable with FBA fees because I calculate my FBA fees before I ever launch a product. I know what my profit will be after FBA fees before I ever spend money on inventory. You can't make money on Amazon because of ads. We run a 40% plus margin on that account. I just launched a brand new account, and after ads, we have 20 reviews on the product. After ads, we're at a 20% profit margin. Literally just calculated it today. Was on a meeting with my business partner. For every person who gives me an excuse as to why you can't be profitable, I can give you a million reasons as to why you can be profitable and make it work. It's like saying That's like, what's a good example? I was trying to think of a sports analogy, but I couldn't think of one. But that's like saying somebody who has never won a Super Bowl. I don't know, insert player who's gone to the Super Bowl but never won. They're like, it's impossible to win the Super Bowl. And then you got Tom Brady looking at him like, what are you talking about, bro? Look at all my rings on all my fingers, or most of my fingers. Actually, no, all my fingers except my thumbs. So yeah, people can say, oh, you can't do this. It's impossible. You won't be profitable. Bro, you're just not doing it right. Did you ever think of that? Did you ever think like, hey, that's what I think is funny. And I don't mean to be mean when I say this. I'm not trying to be a D-bag. I'm just keeping it 100. But like, does anybody who ever says like that you can't make money because of ads ever think that they're just not good at ads? Does anybody who ever launches a product and it doesn't perform well ever stop and think, maybe I launched a bad product? You know what I'm saying? Like, take accountability for your journey. In fact, I had a scenario where I lost $50,000 to Amazon. They shut down my account. They took my inventory. I could have sit and said, boo-hoo, Amazon, it's so bad. No, there was aspects that were our fault, and you have to take accountability for that. And do you know what that does? It makes you a better entrepreneur because you're not putting blame on other people. And in fact, let's break down the two scenarios. What would I rather cope with? If my success was in somebody else's hands and I had no control over it, it's up to Amazon ads, at the FBA fees, the tariffs, all of these things. Like, do I want to make that my reality? Or do I want to make the reality that everything in life is my fault? The product that I launched, the ads that I run, how I navigate the tariffs, even though I still think that's the boogeyman completely. Because if it's my fault, I can fix it. If it's Amazon's fault, I can't do a damn thing about it. I'm stuck with my tail between my legs. You dig? In 3 years, I'm coming back to you, getting one-on-one from my brands, and see you then. Nice. What do you think about using Made in USA in the title? Try it. Everything's worth testing. You don't think about it, but that thinking is basically saying, I can't be the problem. Exactly. And I would rather be the problem. If I'm the problem, I can do something about it. If the Super Bowl is rigged, then it doesn't matter what I do because I will never win. But if we made bad plays, or we threw some interceptions, we missed tackles, then it's our fault. We can come back and we can be like, okay, how can we fix it? How can we make those tackles? How can we avoid throwing those interceptions? It baffles my mind why people adopt this way of thinking of like everything it's all the world's fault. I can't change anything. That's keeping it 100. I'm not calling anybody this, but that's a loser mentality. $2 to 3K impressions a day, no sales. Thoughts on how to optimize? How many clicks do you have? I don't know why, but I always felt like private label is more complicated. I mean, everybody has their own opinion. That's your opinion. It doesn't make it wrong. That's your perspective, right? Your perspective is that it's easier. So that's your reality. And that's awesome. How you been, my brother? Hope you're doing well. I am doing good. Have you heard about the Amazon influencer program? Why don't you join? Because I don't want to promote other people's products and make 2%. That doesn't do anything for me. All right, y'all. It's been a great live. We've been live for a minute. Y'all make sure to go show some love to my last few videos. If you're not following the page, what are you doing? We do these lives every week. We'd make 4+ videos every day on TikTok. Literally have a video on every topic when it comes to Amazon private label. So make sure you guys go check that out. And for those who wanted to have me as your mentor along your entire journey, literal direct access to me to be able to message me when you have questions, all that good stuff, be sure to check out the AMZ Masterclass in the TikTok bio. The price of the program is going up this year, so make sure that you lock it in. You can get grandfathered in. Yep, 10X Rule, one of my favorite books. But make sure you're following. Show some love to the page. And in the TikTok bio, go check out the AMZ Masterclass. I hope you all have a blessed day. I'm about to go get on a call in an hour with my students, so I'll see y'all soon.